Welcome back, everybody, to the NCAA Next Up Dynasty here on NCAA Football 14. Today we will be kicking off the college football playoff here in year number 4 of the series. In the last episode, we did a full reveal of the playoff. We went through the entire bracket along with all of the major awards and whatnot. So in case you missed that episode, I will leave a card at the top right of your screen so you can go ahead and check it out. Here's a look at the final bracket as voted on by you guys. Ohio State, Washington, Florida, and Texas Tech will get first-round byes, so we won't see them until the next episode. And today we'll be going through the entire first round. The other two automatic bid teams, Navy and TCU, come in at 11 and 12, while Notre Dame, Auburn, Cal, USC, Tennessee, and Michigan State are the 6 at-large teams voted on by you guys. So we're not going to waste any time and hop right on into it. And we will be starting with Notre Dame and TCU. We're going to go in a completely random order here of these 4 games. And we'll be starting with the 12 versus 5 matchup. Last season, not only did the 12 seed win the first round, but they made it all the way to the national championship. Speaking of national championships, TCU has been there before. 2 seasons ago, TCU was the number 3 seed in the playoff, and they ended up winning the national championship, which came as a little bit of a surprise despite their high seeding. Well, TCU is back in the playoff a couple years later. Are they as good as they were 2 years ago? No, absolutely not. But I think this team can make a Cinderella run. For most of the year, they weren't all that good of a team. They started off with a record of 3-4, and they just looked like they'd be a middling Big 12 team. But ever since Week 9, they have caught fire, and they've beat some good teams along the way. They have currently won 6 consecutive games, including the conference championship over West Virginia, giving them the automatic bid into the playoff. Part of the reason why they've been inconsistent is quarterback Tegan Yeager's had a hard time staying on the field. Well, he is fully healthy, he looked good in the Big 12 championship, and he is all good to go for the playoff. Running back Harry Stewart was one of the key contributors on this offense 2 years ago when they won the championship. They've got a great group of receivers with Josh St. George, Griffin Weaver III, who is healthy for this game, along with Mustafa Diabate and Demir Stokes. Their defense is not as good as it was 2 years ago, but it is solid, led by guys like JoJo Adiamoa and Josh Parks, 2 potential high draft picks, along with other guys like Ant Wortherford and Sam Delly. Their opponent will be the 5th-seeded Notre Dame Fighting Irish, who will get to host this game here in South Bend, Indiana. The Fighting Irish are the highest-seeded at-large team, and it's no surprise that they are one of the highest at-large teams. They ended up going 12-1 in the best conference in the entire country. They were one of 2 teams to go undefeated in the regular season before losing in the conference championship to Ohio State. Notre Dame has a very strong resume. They've beaten some really good teams. They blew out USC, who's in the playoff. They beat Wisconsin on the road. They kind of blew out Navy, who is also in the playoff. And they had some other good wins, including Oregon late in the year. Stanford's not a bad team. But then in the conference championship, they got beat up pretty badly by Ohio State. And obviously, Ohio State's really good. So on one hand, you give Notre Dame a little bit of an excuse. But on the other hand, you're going to have to beat teams like Ohio State in order to win the national championship. Is Notre Dame's style of offense good enough to win a championship? Their pass game isn't consistent enough. They do have a good ground game led by running back Jared Richardson, who finished in 2nd place for the Heisman Trophy. Baz Boyd at quarterback as a dual threat. Notre Dame made the playoff 2 years ago. They got humiliated by Cal in a game that they were supposed to win. So they're kind of looking for vengeance. They've got a phenomenal defense, one of the best in the country, and on paper, they are a much better team than TCU. Notre Dame should theoretically win this game, but it isn't always that simple. TCU is red hot. They've won 6 in a row, and they've got championship experience. Well, at least some of the guys on the roster. So I think it could prove to be a much more interesting game than people expect. Even if Notre Dame should win on paper, not everything is won on paper. The winner of this game will face off against the number 4-seeded Texas Tech in the second round. Our tournament does not reseed, so even if TCU were to win this game, they would face off against Texas Tech rather than the highest seed, which is Ohio State. Notre Dame opens up the ball. They're going to go for a quick screen on 3rd down for the backup running back, Mike Witherspoon. He gets a big gain of around 25 yards. Good play there by Baz Boyd to go for the short pass and let the running back make a play after the catch. 3rd and inches, Boyd with a nice run, gets the first down, and is wrapped up inside the 5. Notre Dame making it look easy here on this first possession as they look to punch it in here on 1st and goal. And Jared Richardson, the Heisman contending running back, is in for a score. Richardson had 24 rushing touchdowns this year that led all of FBS, and he's got the first touchdown of the college football playoff to put Notre Dame ahead 7-0. Now we get to see the TCU offense as Tegan Yeager goes short on 1st down for Griffin Weaver III, the transfer out of the University of Alabama. Very good receiver. He has missed some time down the stretch, including the conference championship, but he is healthy here for the playoff. 3rd and 11, short throw for Josh St. George, a projected first-rounder in this year's draft, and he does not get the first down. So TCU, after a false start penalty, would decide to kick. They would have kicked anyway, even if not for the penalty, as the field goal is good, and the Horned Frogs are on the board. It is 7-3. So TCU's first drive is a solid one. That kick actually barely made it through. Notre Dame will get it back with the lead. The Irish are coming off a good first drive. Boyd on 2nd down with a strike, and it is caught by Jaden Lewis for a gain of 13. So far, the Notre Dame offense looks really good. I was a little bit concerned about the pass game going into this game, but Baz Boyd is really slinging it well. 2nd and goal. Boyd looks to run with it, and he is in for a score. Great start for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish as they lead at 14-3 late here in the first quarter. Now we'll move into quarter number 2. 3rd and 9 for TCU. Short pass is caught, and it will go for a first down. Nice play after the catch by Demir Stokes Jr. The Horned Frogs would bring it into the red zone, but they've got a predicament. 3rd and 6, handoff to the running back, and Harry Stewart will end up fumbling it. St. George picks it up, but nonetheless, Notre Dame gets another stop, and TCU will have to kick again. The Horned Frogs have had 2 scoring drives today, but they still find themselves down by 8. Notre Dame will get it back, 3rd down and 13. Boyd looks to go for the sideline. It is caught by Liv Rocco, but he only gains 12. So TCU will get it back. Yeager with a dart on 1st down. It's hauled in by Mustafa Diabate. And the Horned Frogs are marching towards the end zone on 2nd and goal. They will punch it in. Harry Stewart with the score, and a 2-point conversion could potentially tie it up. They will go for 2 here. We'll see if Notre Dame can keep the lead and get the stop, as it's going to be a pass. Yeager looks to throw it. He has Harry Stewart open, and he gets lit up well shy of the end zone by Shante Cooks, another projected first-round pick in this year's draft at corner. Notre Dame with a 3rd and 11. Boyd goes downfield, and it's broken up in the secondary by A.J. Okiki. So TCU will get it back with a chance for the lead here at the end of the first half is on 2nd and 1. Yeager with a strike. It is caught by Mustafa Diabate once again. He'll gain 23. Horned Frogs are moving it nicely. They've got a real shot to take the lead here before half. Yeager with a strike for the sideline. It's hauled in by Josh St. George for another first down. Now it's a 3rd and goal. TCU can take the lead with the field goal, but I'm sure they'd love a touchdown. Yeager fakes 1 sack, and his pass is nearly intercepted. He's lucky. TCU did not turn it over on that play. He should have just thrown it out of bounds. But it's an incompletion, so it's the same thing. After making the field goal, TCU now leads this one 15-14 going into halftime. Let's move on to the 3rd quarter now. Tegan Yeager with a nice throw to start the quarter as he connects with Griffin Weaver III for a gain of 22. TCU starting with the ball can really do some damage and look to extend this lead. 3rd and 12, the pass is broken up by Gary Bullock. The Horned Frogs have had no problem scoring, but it's about getting touchdowns. They've only scored 1 touchdown today, and they've been reliant on their kicker, who has been very good, 4 for 4 on kicks in this one. So TCU now leads at 18-14. The door's still well open for Notre Dame, but they've got to pick it up a little bit. Nice play by Jared Richardson on 1st down. Good throw up the middle from Boyd over to Jaden Lewis, who gets around 17. The Irish now with it in the red zone. 3rd down and 9 for Notre Dame. We'll see what they have up in store here as Boyd looks to throw it for a wide open target. David Johnson for the touchdown, and Notre Dame has regained the lead at 21-18. TCU has it back. Good throw by Yeager. As now TCU gets it in the red zone. They're moving it slowly but surely down the field on this possession. 2nd and 1. Dot Touchdown for Josh Chavis, and we've really got ourselves a good game. 25-21 on first down. Boyd is sacked by the defensive tackle Roger Carter, a transfer from Texas who now has 3 sacks in this game. 3rd and 19. Boyd looks to go downfield. It is caught for a first down by Jalen Breaker, who gets nearly 30. Big conversion for the Irish as Boyd is sacked on first down again by Roger Carter, his 4th of the game. 3rd and 9, short screen. Won't go for the first down as Richardson is lit up out of bounds. The Irish will look to cut the lead to 1 here with the field goal as the kick is good. And we will wrap up the third quarter with a Notre Dame field goal, 25-24. The college football playoff getting off to a really exciting start as the first game of the playoff has been a really good one so far. The underdog TCU Horned Frogs have the lead, looking to finish off the upset as Harry Stewart gets a nice first down gain, now a 2nd and inches. Yeager will keep it. He goes short, and it's caught by Demir Stokes, who gets around 17. Yeager's really doing a good job of spreading the ball around, getting all of his receivers involved, as it's Stokes again with the touchdown, and TCU leads by 8. It is still technically a 1-score game. A touchdown and a 2-point conversion would tie it, but Notre Dame's obviously got to be able to do both of those as Boyd is sacked on first down by Roger Carter, his 5th of the game. An all-time defensive performance here in the playoff from Roger Carter, who has taken over this game for TCU. On 3rd down, it's broken up by LaCara Vezel. Notre Dame would elect to punt, and TCU has the ball back as Demir Stokes Jr. gets it to the 15. If the Horned Frogs score, they'll be in a really good spot. Yeager on the option. Touchdown, TCU! Tegan Yeager with the score, and the TCU Horned Frogs lead this game by 2 possessions. It's 39-24, and now Notre Dame's going to need a lot to happen. On 2nd and inches, Boyd goes downfield. It is caught, and the Irish will bring it to the 20. It's Jaden Lewis with a gain of 45. Following play, Boyd looks for the end zone. He connects for a touchdown to Jalen Breaker. Notre Dame needed a quick scoring drive, and that is exactly what happens. The Irish could go for 2 now. They could go for the 1 and try to get the 2 later, but they're just going to do it now as it is caught by Jalen Breaker. It's officially a 7-point game, 39-32. Notre Dame would elect not to go for the onside kick. They trust their defense to get a stop, which is a little bit of a surprise because their defense hasn't been all that good in this game, but they do get the sack on first down. It's Bullock who makes the play. 3rd and 6, around 2 minutes to go. Short pass is caught by Stokes for the first down. Gutsy play call to have Tegan Yeager throw the ball, and it pays off. 3rd and 4 now, game on the line. It's a handoff for Harry Stewart, and he will get it. The TCU Horned Frogs, with that first down conversion, will win it. The first game in this year's playoff ends in an upset. TCU keep on shocking the world. They win their 7th game in a row as they defeat Notre Dame 39-32. And the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, who were ranked number 1 for well over half of the season, are now eliminated here in the first game of the playoff. I will say, though, I think Notre Dame did not lose because of their offense. They did a good job of mixing up the play calling. Baz Boyd had a pretty good game. So did Jared Richardson. I think more blame belongs to the defense, particularly the pass defense. Notre Dame could not stop the TCU offense today. Tegan Yeager and all those receivers had a field day. Yeager, 41 for 49, 435 yards and 2 touchdowns. He was a monster. Harry Stewart was very good. St. George, Stokes, Weaver, Diabate, all very good. I think the big difference in this game as well was the play in the trenches. I mean, Notre Dame's offensive line got cooked by Roger Carter, who had 5 sacks. That'll bring us to the second game of the playoff. The California Golden Bears have made it to the second round 2 years in a row. They've never got out of the second round, but they're going to look to get back there again. But they'll be awaiting a major challenge with the number 10 seeded Michigan State Spartans, who were the final at-large team to get a spot. Of any of these lower seeds, I think Michigan State has the highest ceiling of the bunch. I think Michigan State has what it takes to win a national championship, and it's because of their offense. These guys score points at will, one of the highest scoring offenses in the country. They have a better passing game than anybody in college football, led by Heisman contending quarterback Jay Jordan. The problem with this team is they are a little bit inconsistent on the defensive side of the ball. They're a very similar team to what Duke had last year. Duke obviously lost in the first round to Middle Tennessee State. Michigan State played in a really tough Big Ten. They lost against both playoff teams they faced this year, USC and Ohio State. But they do have some impressive wins, including scoring 63 on the road at Michigan, who is a really, really good team. Jay Jordan is the best pure passer in the country. Maybe he doesn't have the running ability that some of these other quarterbacks do who are dual threats, but he's got such a good arm. They've got a good group of weapons with Cam Miller out of the backfield, tight end Orlando Slaughter, who won the John Mackey Award, Eric Copeland, Ben Bryant, Dwayne Hoy, and others. But it's the defense that is the concern about this team. Can they stop what is a great Cal offense? I really wouldn't be surprised to see this game end up being very high scoring, because Cal has a phenomenal offense as well. I think the Golden Bears are the best at-large team in the country. I think they have a better resume than Notre Dame and Auburn, and they kind of got screwed over by being put below them. Instead of facing off against a lower team like TCU or Navy, they have to go against Michigan State. And if they win this game, they have to go against Washington, who's arguably the best team in the country. Speaking of Washington, they are the only team to have beaten Cal this year. The Golden Bears won 11 games. They were phenomenal once again. Of course, led by quarterback Marquise Harris in his first full season as a starter. And he was probably the second best pure passer in the country behind Jay Jordan. He only threw 2 interceptions the entire season. Talk about efficiency. Talk about playing smart, protecting the football. That's exactly what Marquise Harris is about. But the real star of the show here is Harrison Myers. He's the engine of the offense. He was a Heisman Trophy contender. Eberle Keltstan, Tim Howard, and others lead what is a very solid group. Defensively, I do have some questions, but I think this team is a little bit better than Michigan State on that side of the ball. But again, I really would not be surprised to see this game be a high scorer. I think these two teams are super talented. In this little region with these two teams and then Washington, I think this is by far the best cluster of 3 in the country. And whichever one of these 3 teams, Washington, Cal, or Michigan State, ends up going to the Final Four, I think all 3 of them have a real case to win the national championship. So we will see which team will go up against the 2-seeded Washington Huskies in the second round. Will it be Cal once again, or can the Michigan State Spartans keep up their impressive season and get the upset on the road? Cal has had a very interesting path in this series. In Season 2, they snuck into the playoff. They shocked the world by killing Notre Dame before barely losing to the national champion TCU Horned Frogs. Then last year, they were the number 2 seed, and they lost in their first playoff game to Georgia. Michigan State will start the ball, and the offense is getting right to work. Ben Bryant with a quick gain of 21. Other than the tight end Orlando Slaughter, Michigan State doesn't necessarily have any superstar weapons, but they've got a lot of good players who Jay Jordan, the quarterback, basically makes great players. 3rd and 10 now for the Spartans. We'll see if Cal can get the stop. Jordan's going to look for the screen. It's caught by the running back, Cam Miller, who tries to hurdle the defender, which, he does, but he only gains 4. So Cal is able to get the stop. Michigan State will tackle on 3. The Spartans are on the board with an early field goal. They lead it 3-0. Cal with the ball now. They'll go for a screen on 3rd and 5, and it does not work. Harrison Myers is stopped shy of the yard to gain. Big stop for Michigan State. If their defense can play well and only allow 20 points, there's no reason to think this team can't win. Cal then gets a stop on the next possession, and both defenses are looking surprisingly good at the moment. On 2nd and 7, here's Harrison Myers, the Heisman contending running back with a nice, powerful run up the middle. Myers is a do-it-all weapon. He makes plays in the passing game. He's obviously very elusive as a runner. As there's Eberle Keltstan for the touchdown. Good throw by Marquise Harris, and the California Golden Bears take the lead. Michigan State gets it back late in the first as Jay Jordan. A rare read option play. He doesn't run the ball a lot, and as he does this time, he's injured. Not ideal for Michigan State. He should be able to return for the next drive, but for now, it'll be Vader Meager in at quarterback as he throws it away on 3rd down. Cal gets another stop, and the Spartans will have to kick as they look to make it a 1-point game, and they will. So it's now 7-6. California's going to get the ball back. They have the lead. We'll see if they can potentially extend it. Their offense was coming off a nice drive previously as Harris goes downfield. What a catch by Anthony Coleman, mossing the corner for a gain of nearly 30. 2nd and 14. Harris goes downfield as a wide open man, and they will bring it to the 5. It's Self 2, the slot receiver, for a gain of 39. Into the second quarter now. Cal is very close to the end zone as it's going to be a handoff over to the big fullback, Mike Richard. He also plays a lot of tight end for them. He's kind of the do-it-all kind of guy as he gets the touchdown, and it's 14-6. Michigan State back with it. Another screen, and it once again does not work. Both teams are trying to get the screen game going early, and it's not happening. So Cal has it back, 3rd and 4. Harris alone in the backfield. He's going to go short, and it is caught for the first down by Self 2. Cal has it in the red zone. The Golden Bear offense started off a little bit slowly today, but they've really gotten themselves into a groove. But Harris is intercepted. A huge turnover for the Michigan State defense. It's George Thomas who picks it off. A potentially major momentum shift. Michigan State could not have had that turnover at a better time. 3rd and 4, Jordan is going to be sacked. The Spartans do nothing with this possession as he's wrapped up by Scott Miller. Cal has it right back at around the 25. 2nd and 1. Harris goes short. It's caught by Myers, who's going to break the tackle and lean into the end zone for a touchdown. Great play after the catch by Harris and Myers, and it's now 21-6. Big drive from Cal, and now Michigan State's got to respond. Their offense has been really disappointing today. Why do they keep running screens? I just don't get it. Cam Miller loses 2, and the Golden Bears can potentially turn this game into an all-out blowout. Final play of the first half. Harris, under pressure, takes a shot downfield on the Hail Mary, and he is intercepted by Brian Stegall. Marquise Harris has been picked off twice in the first half. That's the same amount of interceptions that he had through the entirety of the regular season. He was picked off twice in the entire regular season. He already has 2 here. But that's really the only thing that's gone wrong for Cal. Other than that, they're playing great. They lead at 21-6. The offense is moving the ball down the field. The defense has been surprisingly phenomenal. Although they won't get anything going here on their opening drive of the second half, this is Michigan State's chance to put themselves back in the game. 1st and 15 for the Spartans. Jordan will look short. Screen pass is caught, and it's actually going to work. And it's actually going to result in a huge gain as Grant Scott gains 26. 3rd and 1 now for the Spartans. Jordan's going to pitch it back to Scott, and he does not get anything. Michigan State's going to elect a kick here. I don't really agree with this call. I think at this stage of the game, you got to go for it. You're this close. You haven't been able to score a touchdown all day. They're going to be conservative, and it's now 21-9. Cal gets it back. They're still up by 2 possessions. Harris on 3rd and 9 is an open man, and that'll go for a first down. Eberle Keltstan with a gain of 27 yards. If Cal scores again, they will really be sitting pretty here. Their offense has done a pretty good job today of getting points. Obviously, their defense has done phenomenal today, but on 3rd and 2, Harrison Myers is going to go backwards, wrapped up by Jesus Wigington. So Cal's going to look to kick, and this is going to be a long one from around 57 yards out. It is good! From 57, he drills it! And it's now 24-9. Still a 2-score game. But obviously Michigan State's in a little bit of a predicament. They're going to have to score touchdowns at some point if they want to win. 3rd and 4, not enough for Grant Scott. He only gains 3. Michigan State would punt it. Michigan State's been so aggressive all year. Now they have cold feet in the biggest game of the year with the play calling. I just don't get it. Their defense is keeping them in it, though. Harris is sacked by Glenn Carbine, a potential NFL draft pick for a big loss. And then on 3rd and 15, Harris is sacked again. So Michigan State gets another stop. This time it's Miyazaki Anasuke. And it'll remain 24-9 as we go into the 4th quarter. Michigan State scores more points than anybody. And they're just not scoring today. They only have 3 field goals. But they're only down by 15. They can certainly come back. But their offense is going to need to wake up. And I suppose that's a pretty good start. Orlando Slaughter, the John Mackey Award winner, finally makes a play. Just his 2nd catch of the game, and it'll go for around 20. Now a 3rd and 6. Jordan looks to throw it, backs up in the pocket, and it is intercepted in the end zone. Man, that's got to hurt if you're Michigan State. You were that close to scoring, and you just turn it over. Cal does nothing on their next drive, but they chew some clock, so it's not a total failure of a possession. Michigan State has it back, 3rd and 9, around 5 minutes to go. Jordan looks to throw it under pressure, and he is incomplete. Good coverage by Cal. Michigan State would elect to punt it for Lord knows what reason. Cal would get it back. They'd choose some clock. They'd add on a field goal, and that is pretty much all she wrote. The Golden Bears will win this game 27-9, and they will move on to the second round of the playoffs to face off against the Washington Huskies in a big Pac-12 rematch. Cal played really well. I was super impressed with the defense. We'll get to Michigan State in a second, but I think Cal defensively deserves a lot of credit. Their defense has been inconsistent throughout the year, but today they were great. The offense was pretty good, too. I wouldn't say they lit the world on fire, but other than the turnovers, Marquise Harris had a pretty good game. Harrison Myers continues to prove he's the real deal, but the defense is really the reason why they won this game. As for Michigan State, I was really disappointed with them. The Spartans are such a high-octane, explosive offense, and the play calling just was cold feet. There was no aggressiveness. There was no sense of urgency at all. Jay Jordan threw the ball 50 times, and he was pretty effective, but they didn't score a touchdown once. So Michigan State's season is over, and Cal will face off against Washington for a spot in the Final Four. So that'll bring us to the third game of the day as we had the ACC champion Navy Midshipmen headed out to Auburn to face off against the Tigers. The winner of this game will face off against Florida in the next round. So we will start with Navy, who ends up getting the 11th seed in the tournament. They won the ACC this year. That's not as big of an accomplishment as normal, considering the ACC was pretty bad. There was nobody in this conference who was really all that good, but Navy was able to win the conference championship in a double overtime thriller against Middle Tennessee State. Navy's had some down stretches this year. They lost 3 games in a row between weeks 10 through 12, but they have been playing a little bit better since. They shut out Army, and obviously they had the double overtime game against Middle Tennessee State. As we look at this Navy team, I don't think they're as good as they were last year, but I think they are more equipped to play well in the playoff because their offense is a little bit more multi-dimensional. Last season, it was all about the gimmicky option stuff, and while that's still there, they don't need to go to it as much because they have a much more balanced approach. They trust their passing game a lot more, and defensively, this team is always very stout. This year, no different. On the other side, we've got the Auburn Tigers, who were one of the last teams to lose this year, and they actually lost a couple down the stretch, including the SEC Championship against Florida, where the offense just completely did not show up in that game. They only scored 1 touchdown, and it was off of a freak 60-yard play rather than a long, sustained drive. So I feel like Auburn has something to prove after really struggling in that game against the Gators. And again, that's coming off a game a few weeks ago where they got shut out by a Georgia team who has not been all that good throughout the year. Despite that, though, Auburn has gone 11-2. They've beaten some good teams throughout the season. Their win against Oklahoma is really when they proved to me that they are legit. And through the regular season, they were the best team in the SEC, despite inconsistencies from quarterback Jet Jackson, who in the first half of the season looked like a Heisman contender, and in the second half of the year, he really was not as good. They do have plenty of solid playmakers. Gaffey Quentin's a great running back, as is Trayon Scott at receiver. But I think if this Auburn team makes a run, it'll be because of their defense. The defense is one of the best in the conference. They've really been playing well, led by Cedric Cabral, who's been probably the best defensive player in the entire country this year. So if Auburn can really stop Navy's passing game and force them to run the ball too much or force them to throw it too much, and Navy loses that sort of offensive balance, I think Auburn can position themselves to win this game. But on the flip side, Auburn's offense has not been all that great recently. Added on with the weather conditions being pretty poor here, I think we could be looking at a low-scoring, grinded-out game. But I was completely wrong about the Michigan State and Cal game having a lot of points, and it didn't. So maybe this game will end up like 50-40 or something. Welcome to Jordan-Hare Stadium here in Auburn, Alabama. Can the Auburn Tigers make it to the next round of the playoff, or could they be upset by Navy? Jet Jackson on third down launches a prayer, and he is intercepted by the safety T.C. Davis. Jet Jackson's got a rocket, and he showed it there. The throw is a little bit offline, intercepted. It's basically an arm punt, so it's really not that big of a deal. Navy will get their first crack at it. Chuck Burton on first down, goes downfield, and he connects with Kyon Clark for a gain of about 40. Once upon a time, Kyon Clark was the number 1 overall recruit in his entire class. Went to LSU, things didn't really work out. Transferred to Navy, things still aren't really working out, but hey, nice play. Screen for Dorsey does not work, so the midshipmen will have to kick a field goal. We'll see if they can put themselves on the board as the kick is up, and it is good. So Navy leads it 3-0. Not a bad start here for Navy. They force a turnover. They get some points. In a game where I don't think we're going to see a lot of points, scoring early will certainly be helpful. Following Navy possession, here's the running back, John Dorsey. Pushed out of bounds. You could argue that could have been a late hit. Nice run nonetheless. Now a 3rd and 6. If Navy can find the end zone, make it a 2-score game, they can really put themselves in a good spot. This Auburn team does not play all that great from behind, but Burton's pass is incomplete. He was under a lot of pressure there, so they're going to have to kick once again. Credit to Auburn's defense with a couple of stands. Even though they've allowed some points early, they have not let Navy get into the end zone. I feel like some of these teams are just allergic to scoring touchdowns. It's so weird. Auburn's offense has been a disaster today, and it won't get any better here as Gaffey St. Quentin loses yards on the screen, wrapped up by linebacker Leland Gold. And Auburn's offense looks even worse than they did in the SEC Championship, and that says something. Navy gets 10 here on 3rd and 10, but they won't get the first down. It's 4th and inches. Rather than punch it in, they are going to kick. I really do not know why, and the kick is no good. The kicker for Navy started off 2 for 2, but that one looked a little bit short. And so Auburn will get it back with a chance to finally score and maybe even take the lead. 3rd and 15. Jet Jackson looks for the sideline, and it is caught for a gain of 14 by Lumpkin. After a false start penalty, Auburn would kick. You could make the argument they should have gone for it on 4th and 1. They did have the field goal team out. Not that it really mattered because of the penalty. And the kick is no good. You have to ask yourself, if not for the false start penalty, maybe they make that kick. So both teams trade off missed field goals, and Navy gets it back on a 3rd and 14. Burton looks up the middle of the field, incomplete, and Auburn will get it back. Now here in the second quarter, so far it's 6-0. It's been an ugly game, but the Tigers are going to look to make a big play. Lonnie Cook gains around 40, bringing Auburn into the red zone. The Tigers looking to move quickly, trying to keep the Navy defense on their toes, as on 2nd and 8, Jackson connects with Trayon Scott for the touchdown, and the Auburn Tigers will take the lead. Their offense has not been good today, but they are now winning 7-6. Good drive here for Auburn. They were able to get some big plays together. They have the lead. We'll see how Navy can look to respond. 3rd and 15. Burton looks to throw it. Goes downfield, and it is broken up. The receiver looked open at one point, but the pass was a little bit underthrown. So Auburn will get it back now. Still 7-6. 3rd and 18. Jackson with a nice throw, but it'll only go for around 15 in the hands of Lonnie Cook III. Another stop, and so Navy will get it back. 2nd and 15. Burton looks to throw it with a strike downfield, and it's hauled in by Kyshawn Williams Jr., who gets the first down for Navy. The midshipman looking to take the lead here before the end of the half is on 3rd and 9. Burton with a strike downfield, and it is incomplete. Both teams got a hand on it, but nobody's able to come down with it. Good stop by the Auburn defense. However, Navy will be able to take the lead here with a field goal. So far, the kicker is 2 for 3. This one is good. That kick looked a little bit ugly, I won't lie, but it's now 9-7. So Auburn will get it back late in the first half, trying to regain the lead as Jet Jackson under a lot of pressure on 1st down, and he is sacked for a loss of 9, and that'll wrap up the first half. I said this game could be an ugly, grinded-out, low-scoring football game, and it sure has. 9-7, Navy leads. They've got the ball here early in the 3rd. As on 3rd and 7, Burton has a wide-open receiver. That'll be a first down as Navy's moving it well. Now they're backed up in a 3rd and 23, however. Burton looks to go downfield, and it is caught, but certainly well shy of the yard to gain as Kyon Clark only gains around 13. Good stop by the Auburn defense. Navy still has been held out of the end zone the entire game. Can't say the same for Auburn as Jackson goes downfield. It's caught in the back of the end zone for a score by Trayon Scott, the senior receiver. He's been one of the only good players on this Auburn offense today. And so the Tigers lead it 13-9. They will look to go for 2, try to make it a 6-point game, which is 2 field goals. And considering Navy's kicked a lot of field goals today, I kind of get it. Pass is caught, and they will give it to him. Justin Lumpkin with the 2-point conversion. That was close whether or not he was in, but it looked like he was. So Auburn leads at 15-9 going into the 4th quarter. Navy is yet to been able to find the end zone today, but they've got to do it here in the 4th, or else they're not going to win this game. Point blank, period. Navy's got to pull out all of his stops here is on 1st and 10. Burton connects with Kyshawn Williams Jr., who breaks his way into the end zone for a score. Navy finally gets a touchdown, and they will take the lead after the extra point, 16-15. Great throw and read by Burton. I think Auburn was kind of running a zone coverage there, and, well, there was nobody near Williams the entire play, and so Navy leads by 1. 3rd and 5. Jet Jackson looks downfield, and it's dropped by the defense. Great start to the fourth quarter for Navy. They get the score, they get the stop, but Auburn's going to go for it on 4th and 5. I like the aggressiveness, and they got it. Wide open down the field is the tight end, Frederick Montgomery, for the first down. Gutsy play by Auburn, but it pays off, and the Tigers now have a golden opportunity to get this lead back. On first down, Jet Jackson looks to throw it. He's going to look downfield, and it is caught by Creed Price. A diving grab, and so it's now a 2nd and goal. The Tigers are this close to the end zone. Jackson under pressure. He will be sacked. Big play for Navy. If they can hold them to a field goal here, that would be huge. Now 3rd and goal. Jet Jackson looks to throw it under more pressure. Sacked. Fumbles, and it's picked up by Navy. A red zone turnover from the Navy defense. Auburn needed to score there to take the lead, and they're not going to be able to. Jet Jackson loses the ball. I think the fact that it's raining certainly does not help, and so Navy's in a good spot, especially if they can get a first down here on 3rd and 6, and they will. Burton with a strike inside the 15 over to Ryan Hunter. We'll see if Navy is able to score here and potentially pad their lead. 1st and 10. Burton looks to throw it. He's going to roll out to the right, and the ball is out. And it's picked up by the big fella. Auburn's going to look to take it all the way. It's Charles Rogers, the defensive tackle, huffing and puffing, and he's going to get it. Touchdown, Auburn. The Tigers will take the lead late off of a scoop and score from Charles Rogers, and it's 21-16. Auburn would miss the 2-point conversion. 3rd and 20. Burton rocked in the pocket, and he will be sacked on the play for a loss of 7. Big play by Ryan Parham, and Navy would elect to punt it. They trust their defense to get a stop, and I don't blame them. I would too, the way they've been playing. Navy does get the stop. There's a flag that looked like a late hit out of bounds. It's not going to be the call, though. Instead, it'll be a clipping. I thought that might have been a late hit, so Navy's awfully lucky that they'll just be able to decline the penalty, and it'll be a 4th and 8. What does Auburn do here? Do you go for it? Do you kick? Do you punt it? They're going to go for it. Interesting call inside the 40-yard line. If they get it, they can really position themselves to end this ball game. Chewing some clock here. Navy still has some timeouts in their back pocket. They're not using them yet, as Jackson will look to throw it. Backs up in the pocket. Hit as he throws, and it is caught for a first down by Trayon Scott. Big play for Auburn. They're going to look to punch it in and make it a 2-score game, and that they will do. Gaffey St. Quentin with the touchdown, and the Auburn Tigers lead it 28-16. A big stretch here for Auburn. The scoop and score gave them all the momentum they need to likely finish this game off as Navy's hanging on for dear life. 4th and 14. Burton with a rocket downfield, and it is picked off by Buxton Young, and this game is over. The Auburn Tigers are moving on to the second round of the college football playoff as they defeat Navy 28-16, and we will get an SEC championship rematch in the Elite Eight between Auburn and Florida. Last year, we had a conference championship rematch between the 3 and 6 seeds. Not only did the 6 seed win that game, Ohio State, they ended up winning the national championship. Can Auburn potentially have that same luck despite averaging 1 yard per carry on the ground today? Jet Jackson was pretty solid. He struggled early, but I will say he did have some really good throws, especially down the stretch, but they did not run the ball well. If you're going to struggle against Navy, things are not going to be much better against Florida, so they've got to pick it up on the ground. Got to give a lot of credit to the defense that made some plays, ton of tackles for loss. As bad as their rushing offense was, Navy's really was not much better, and their pass rush in this game was phenomenal, along with obviously the big scoop and score by Charles Rogers. Without that play, I don't think they win the game. Chuck Burton was pretty solid. He was sacked 9 times. I can't really blame him for that. Both offensive lines, pass and run blocking, were utterly garbage today. Got to shout out Kyon Clark, the former #1 recruit with one of the best games in his career. And Navy's defense was really good, but their offense, particularly their O-line, could not hold up against Auburn's fearsome pass rush. So we've got one more game to go. I've decided to save the best for last. 9-seeded Tennessee heads to the University of Southern California to face off against the 8-seeded USC Trojans. We'll start with Tennessee, who grabbed the second to last at-large spot, being the 9th seed in the tournament. The thing with Tennessee football is they always find a way at some point when expectations are high to fall flat on their face. After starting the year 2-2, they have not lost since. This is one of the hottest teams in the country. They have won 8 in a row. They have not lost in a long time, dating back to week 5. And both of their losses were by a combined total of 8 points. They barely lost to Florida, a playoff team, and they barely lost to LSU on the road. And LSU is a tough squad. They've got some good wins in here, but as you'll notice with a lot of these scores, a bunch of really close games. And it's kind of a blessing and a curse. On one hand, Tennessee has mastered winning close games. When there are down-to-the-wire moments, Tennessee knows how to prevail. But on the other hand, when you've got a team who wins a bunch of close games like this, decided by a few fluky plays, then this team as a whole might be a little bit fluky. So because of that, I think they're another one of those teams who's got a pretty high ceiling. They could potentially make a run, but they could also fall on their face here in the first round. Their opponent will be the USC Trojans, who I think have just about more to play for than anybody here in the playoff. So last year, USC was kind of on the bubble, basically where they were this year, but they won the Big Ten championship, giving them an automatic spot into the playoff and a first-round bye before getting humiliated by the team who they had beaten in the Big Ten championship, that being Ohio State, who obviously went on to win the national championship. USC is just as good as they've been, and they've got some good wins. They beat Michigan State, a playoff team. Their only losses are against other playoff teams. They lost to Notre Dame by a lot, and they lost to Florida by not a lot. They're 10-2. They won some games down the stretch, including at UCLA to finish things off. They've got a very explosive quarterback with Amari August, who, of course, was not the starting quarterback here last year, but being under Scotty Kimbrell, he was able to learn a lot and see how this team played in the playoff. Other than that, most of their guys from last year are back, including star running back Monty Bradley. They've got a really good young group of skill position players with guys like Caden Morgan, Squeezy Pryor-Escobar, Cashway Jr., and Tay Devine. I really like their offensive line. I think it's the best offensive line in the entire country. And their defense is really solid as well across the board. They've got a good group of young defensive linemen. They've got some good defensive backs, multiple NFL draft prospects in that secondary, including potential first-rounders with cornerback Cheetah Abdelani and safety Gavin Wokenwiski. USC is certainly a more talented team on paper, but if this game ends up being close, as I've been saying, Tennessee knows how to pull those close games out. And I think this could be a really exciting game. The winner of this game, regardless of who wins, is going to be a heavy underdog next round against Ohio State. But are either of these teams capable of a Cinderella run? Let's find out today. The final game of the first round of the playoff here at the Coliseum. USC facing off against Tennessee. USC the 8th seed, Tennessee the 9th seed, with a date against the Ohio State on the line in the next round of the playoff. Not a great start for Tennessee. It's a 3-and-out as Roddy Jolly is sacked by Vladimir Stoholan, one of the linebackers. Roddy Jolly is a physical anomaly, 6'7", nearly 250 pounds. He's got a cannon of an arm. He's been a little bit inconsistent at times, but he's a really, really good player. So USC will get the ball here with pretty good field position as Monty Bradley, the star running back, busts through the hole. Whoa, pause. And he brings it into the red zone for a nice gain. If USC can take a big lead early, then I think this could prove to be trouble for Tennessee, as it's going to be a rushing score for Amari August. A great start for the Trojans. They get a quick stop. They march right down the field and score a touchdown, and so they lead it 7-0. Pretty much a picture-perfect start for USC. They get a stop. They march right down the field. Tennessee's got to respond quickly, as on 3rd and 5, it's a short throw to the running back, Mohamed Dahoud, and he does not get the first down. USC with another stop, and they'll get it back on offense. What a stiff arm by Monty Bradley, who cuts to the left side and gets it past the 40. Big run for Bradley. Him and August so far have been deadly on the ground to start this game off. 3rd and 6, short throw is caught. Nice play after the catch as well for a first down. And then on 1st and goal, August with a strike in the end zone. It's caught by Caden Morgan for the touchdown, and USC now leads it 14-0. While Tennessee plays well in close games, if this gets to be a blowout, they're going to have trouble making up that big deficit. So this play will certainly keep them in it. A huge touchdown for Joe Bennett. Great throw by Roddy Jolly, and this game just got real interesting. It's now 14-7. Tennessee's kind of back in it. 3rd and 8, Run up the middle for Monty Bradley. He does not get the first down, wrapped up by potential first-round linebacker Giovanni Malube. Kick is good for USC, making it 17-7. Now into the second quarter, 2-score lead, but Tennessee's not out of it, especially if they can score on this drive. 3rd and 1. Jolly looks downfield. It's broken up. A couple of USC defenders had a hand on it. Sergio Jimenez particularly should have come down with it. So the Vols are going to kick here on 4th and 1. This one from around 53, and it is good, making it 17-10. USC has it back now, 3rd and 9. Short throw from August is hauled in by Monty Bradley. Does not get the first down, but that'll certainly put USC into field goal range. The first quarter of this game was all about touchdowns. Now the second quarter has been all about field goals. USC looking to make it a 2-score game, and the kick is good. USC's offense has been very solid today. They've scored on every drive that they've had the ball so far as they lead it 20-10. Here is the ensuing kickoff. Tennessee looking to make a big play on the return, and the ball is out! And it's picked up by USC! And it'll be a scoop-in score for the Trojans, who are now ahead by 3 possessions. That's the tight end, Brian Johnson, with the touchdown. A big special team score for USC. And as we look at this replay, was the ball out of the returner's hands? Yup, clear as day, a hit-stick fumble, and it's 27-10. Tennessee's got to respond here, or else this might not get pretty. 3rd and 11. Jolly is sacked in the pocket by the big defensive tackle, Johnny Machado. His second sack of the game. Tennessee's going to have to kick here, so they can make it a 2-possession game if he even makes it. No guarantee, but the kick is good. So it's 27-13. Tennessee cannot afford to have this lead get any bigger for USC. August on first down goes short for the tight end, Squeezy Pryor Escobar, the cousin of former USC receiver and current Tennessee Titan Hot Rod Pryor. 2nd and 5. Monty Bradley shrugs off the tackle. He is in for a score. Monty Bradley has been dominant in this first half. He's been probably the best player on the field, which isn't really a surprise. He's a total stud. 34-13, USC's got the ball back late here in the half, looking to extend the lead even more. But Amari August coughs it up, and it's recovered by Tennessee. A huge play for the Vols, who have 2 timeouts in their back pocket along with 10 seconds left. And they can theoretically score here. Even if it's a field goal, some points before the end of the half would be really nice. On first down, Jolly's going to say F it. Launches it for the end zone, and it's intercepted. Back-to-back plays of turnovers, and the fumble proves to be for naught for the Tennessee defense. USC leads big, 34-13 here at half. The Trojans have been phenomenal, particularly offensively. Tennessee's got to respond quickly. 3rd and 10, Jolly goes downfield for Mohamed Dahoud, who gets a first down. For any of you guys who need some advice here, if you're having a conversation with someone and you forget their name, you should call them Mohamed, because that's the most statistically common name in the entire world. Speaking of Mohamed Dahoud, he gains around 7, so USC gets the stop. Tennessee will kick, but it remains a 3-score game. It's 34-16. The Vols still need a lot to happen if they want to win this game. 3rd and 13, screen for Bradley, and he gains nothing. I will say the Tennessee defense looks a lot better here in the 3rd quarter, but it's not going to matter if their offense isn't going to answer back. Here's a big run for Roddy Jolly. Gets it past the 30 to around the 26-yard line, and so that'll wrap up the 3rd. Both offenses were a lot quieter in that quarter, which certainly goes to the benefit of USC because they've got this big lead. Tennessee does have it in the red zone, though. They can make it a 2-score game, and on 3rd and goal, they will. Touchdown for Corey Jackson. Now, the Vols still need a lot to happen. They trail by 12, but I suppose it's not entirely inconceivable. They're going to go for 2, and Jolly fumbles the ball. Doesn't matter. He would have been stopped shy anyway. USC's got to score here. If they don't, then Tennessee can really gain some momentum. And if the Trojans do score, then they'll be back up by 3 scores. They'll be in a really good spot. Look at Amari August getting through defenders like it's nothing. Big gain for him. USC's now marching closer to the end zone, and on 2nd and goal, they will score. Isaac Thomas, one of the best second-string running backs in the country, with the touchdown. USC needed that. They're back up by 3 scores, and they're back in a position where they can pretty comfortably finish this game, barring something crazy. 3rd and 10. Jolly takes a shot downfield. It's caught in the end zone. Mohamed Dahoud with the touchdown, and it's back to an 11-point deficit. USC is still certainly in the driver's seat, but they don't want to put the pedal off the metal quite yet. It looks like Tennessee's going to try to fight back. huge 3rd and 12 here as USC is chewing some clock. It looks like Amari August will keep it, and he goes backwards for a loss of 2. So Tennessee gets the stop. They're going to call a timeout, and they will get the ball back. They've got to score really quickly, though. There's no time to dilly-dally or waste time, and I suppose this is a pretty good start. Mohamed Dahoud with a big run, getting it nearly to the 50. Very good start to the drive, but they've got to keep it going. Following play for the Volunteers, Roddy Jolly with a nuke downfield, and it's caught by Zach Torres Jr. for the touchdown. And all of a sudden, this game just got real interesting. Tennessee makes it a one-possession ball game, 36-41 after the extra point. Tennessee will not go away. They still need to get another stop or an onside kick, but these guys are fighters, and they are not going to quit. They will go for the onside kick. They don't particularly trust their run defense to stop Monty Bradley. I wouldn't either. Close one, but USC does get it. Tennessee had a couple of chances to pick up that ball. USC's awfully lucky they were able to scoop it up. So if the Trojans can get a first down here, that'd be a big deal. Tennessee's only got 2 timeouts left. Handoff for Monty Bradley. Cuts to the left side, and he got it. Huge first down run for Monty Bradley, and that should be the game. Another first down officially clinches it as Bradley gets it back, and the ball is out, and it's picked up by the defense. Oh my goodness. Tennessee will have a chance to take the lead with not a lot of time left on the clock. USC recovers the onside kick, but they turn over the ball. That is a fumble, and so the Vols will get it with a chance to win the game. I don't believe it. First play of the drive. Jolly goes downfield with a strike, and it's hauled in by LaMichael Jackson to the 35. 3rd and 3 now. The Vols have it in the red zone, but not a lot of time. Under 45 seconds now, as Roddy Jolly is going to be sacked for a loss of 2. Rather than calling their one timeout, they're going to go no huddle. I really don't get that because their season is literally on the line here. 4th and 5. Jolly launches it for the end zone. It is caught for a Tennessee touchdown. Chris Francis with the score, and the Vols, who were down by 3 possessions not even 5 minutes ago, have taken the lead. They will not get the 2-point conversion, so it'll be a 1-point Tennessee lead. USC can still win the game here in regulation. They're only down by 1. They've got a couple of timeouts in their back pocket. August launches it up, and the jump ball is hauled in by USC. With 10 seconds to go now, August runs up the middle, trucks the defender for first down. Are they in field goal range? I'm not quite sure as they use their timeout. This is going to be a pretty long kick. I would say you're looking at around 53, maybe 54 yards. Certainly not a gimme. Prater for the win. It's up, and he got it! Tommy Prater wins it for USC with a 54-yard kick. That one really went right down the middle. A no-doubter for Prater, and the USC Trojans will survive in the game of the year. 44-42 is your final. Whoa, what a game. So USC had a big lead for most of this one. They're up by 21 at half. They're up by 18 in the 4th. They scored early in the 4th to be up by 19 with not even 4.5 minutes left. And Tennessee, man, they just respond. 3 late touchdowns within the span of minutes. But USC, when they needed to make a play late, they did. And they were able to win and survive. I feel like this game was more about Tennessee's incredible comeback rather than USC choking. I give the Volunteers a lot of credit. As I've been saying, you just are waiting for when Tennessee's going to fall flat on their face, right when expectations are high, and I feel like that didn't happen today even though they lost. I get they were pretty bad for 3 quarters, but these guys fought until the end. Shout out to Roddy Jolly. He is one hell of a player. His draft stock certainly going up with a great performance here today, even if he wasn't perfect. Tennessee made turnovers when they needed to. They made plays when they needed to, and it just was not enough. Amari August did not make a ton of big throws, but he made plays when he needed to. Him and Bradley were both great on the ground, although they both had very untimely fumbles, which the second one by Bradley nearly costed them the entire game. USC's defense was really good for most of this one. Johnny Machado had 4 sacks, but they almost blew it at the end, if not for their offense getting a late field goal drive with Prater. Wow, what a start to the playoff. We've got a big upset with TCU, a near big comeback with USC surviving, along with Cal and Auburn moving on to the second round. And we've got some pretty fun second round matchups. We've got a lot of rematches. 3 of the 4 second round matchups are in conference games. Ohio State and USC from the Big Ten. Cal and Washington from the Pac-12. That's the game I'm most excited about. Florida and Auburn, an SEC championship rematch. And then the other game, while it's not a current conference rematch, TCU and Texas Tech were in the Big 12 for a while, and they have a little bit of a geographic rivalry, both being from Texas. So all these teams that are going to play each other in the next episode are quite familiar with each other, which is pretty cool. I'm excited for the next episode. I hope you guys are as well. Very fun start here to the playoff, and I can't wait to keep it going. Next episode, we will cut it down from 8 teams left to 4. Who do you guys think will move on next time around? Let me know in the comments. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Peace out.